What's up, City Skylines fans? I'm Sockside Up, and we're back with another episode of Lake Sockside. Last week we came back with this series, and today I want to announce that we're going to have a little bit of a structure or a plan going forward. It's kind of a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down for 45 minutes, do some gameplay, not really plan anything out, just enjoy City Skylines again, as we mentioned last episode. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to jump into the time lapse. It's going to last about 15 minutes real time. Or playback, I guess, but in reality, it took me about 45 minutes to record what we're doing, and we're gonna cut out minimal things. Last episode, we talked about getting these ploppable parking lots back. I found some that I really dig. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this set that I downloaded. They're modular, they're different sizes that come with it. It took me a while to get used to realizing left and right were on the name of the asset. So we go ahead and plop a bunch of those down, and we get this industry area filled in the way I envisioned it when we first started building it. And I hope you agree. I think this is a huge improvement to what we were doing. There's a time and place for the big parking lot assets that we're using, and I think we got a handle on the mixture of it. We're giving these individual parking lots to these, specific buildings so that workers know where to park when they come to work, and then mixing it in a little bit with some extra buildings just to fill the area up. We do a little bit more detailing, but most of that was done in the last episode, ruining the concrete and staining the concrete, and I guess that's just it, ruining the concrete. But then we just, filled in with some of these extra details, and you'll see later on in this time lapse or this section, we do add a little bit more detailing that is specific to an industry area to kind of complete this weird structure section district. That's the word I'm looking for, district. But overall, I definitely think this is the approach for me, sitting down for about 45 minutes to an hour and just kind of playing the game again, enjoying it. It's bringing the itch back. We might be back on Twitch as well soon with a new stream city. If you're following us over there and you're checking out these videos, you want to see what we do in person, head on over to twitch.tv/SocksWayUp. Name is the same over there. But we continue on with finishing up the parking lots, and we're just kind of going around this entire area to figure out where is the empty space? Where do these parking lots need to be added? It seems to me like this is going to be the main industrial hub so far of Lake Sockside, and it's turning out pretty cool in my opinion. Here's some of that detailing we're talking about. Started just looking at props and wanted some things that would just fill the area. I really like these dirt piles, or mineral piles. So we're going to do that in a different area, but here we just lay out some boxes and build a fence around this specific building to give it its own area, its own distinct beginning and ending to kind of separate these buildings, because they are just laid down on a bunch of concrete, and each property doesn't have its own zone. So we're kind of doing that a little bit here. I didn't do that too much in the entire area, just some small sections that I think it looked nice. Let me know what you think about the detailing here. Again, I'm not going overboard with the detailing. I'm just doing it to where I feel satisfied with the areas. It makes me happy. Again, I'm not trying to compete with other people on YouTube anymore. I'm trying to just do what I do and enjoy the game, and hopefully some of you get some inspiration from it, and also send me out some tips as well. I appreciate that in the comments. sometimes when you're building your city and adding features to it, you do something that you end up hating, and that's what we did right there. We saw how it looked once we put the boxes in those. I think those are for making pillars, but we attempted to use it as a different feature and decided we hated it after that. And so then we start just filling this in with some of these yellow vans, and then also we decide this empty area here, instead of really populating it, let's put a for sale sign, and then we're gonna throw some dirt in the background and some I forget the word for them. They're like big tractors, industrial machines. Honestly, I forget what they're called. Bulldozer type things to remove this dirt. And maybe one of the other businesses is using this land right now to kind of store their product of whatever they're building inside their business. But I feel like that finished the area, gave it a nice little difference of color. And then this other area here was just a little empty. So we go ahead and add a building there as well. And we're pretty close to being done with this area for now. We're gonna go take a peek at our residential area at this point. We talked about feeling like this area was a little too busy with the trees. So this is what we're doing now, is we're scaling that back a little bit. And because Bob is such a powerful mod, we're able to do that on all of the buildings that match the building that we're editing. And it cleans it up a lot. I feel like just taking away one tall tree and turning it into a bush in a ton of these houses made it look less clustered. I think it looks a ton better. Let me know what you think as well. But yeah, I think the residential area is coming in along pretty nicely. We're going to zone a little bit more there. And then we're going to move on to really the main project of this episode, which is a brand new commercial area that we're going to build right here. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of flatten out the land so that we can have a nice working area and not have to worry about the terrain getting in our way. There's going to be a lot more of this in this area. I'm trying to do as minimum changes around the water to keep the water looking nice. I'm just not sure about how far we want to go with that. And I really like the way that coast looks, so I want to leave it as much as possible. One thing I do want to mention is an amazing comment we got from Tane. I believe that's how you pronounce the name, referring us to one of Yumble's YouTube videos on how to use these big parking lot roads. I watched that video, got some good tips. You can see here, this is going a lot smoother. We figured out the math that's involved with building these parking lots and when to use which type of road type to begin with. And we have a little mistake here that we are going to fix in just a second. We update that to be the border road, and that parking lot looks great. Later on, we start expanding the parking lot and start doing some things that are a little bit trickier because they're in more compact areas. But I feel like I got the hang of it and got it sorted out right. So what we're doing here is we're putting down a lot of these commercial buildings, kind of a mixture of some of the custom assets, and some are, I believe some of these are vanilla. But what I was thinking here was this major commercial hub for the new neighborhood that's going to be just to the, let's say, west of that building, just below it right now when we're looking at it. But we're bringing over the power, got to get that all electrocuted, got to get electricity over there. And then we want to figure out what the big building is. We go with the Whole Foods building. And then we start, you know, getting the water in here, like we said, and start detailing it up and making this place look a little bit more unique than just a straight up parking lot. And I really love the way it turned out. We start doing some landscaping with socks here, adding in some of our trees. Try not to overdo it anymore is one of the things I'm trying to do, is just find a nice in between of over detailing and detailing enough to make me satisfied with the area and make it not just look like boring vanilla city skylines. It's not boring, but just not like basic city skylines. So that's what we're doing here, and using the prop line tool as well to help us out to speed up the process and add in just a little bit of a color so it pops to the eye when we're looking at it from farther away. All right, after taking a step back there, we felt like this area was unfinished. So this is the extra parking lots that I was talking about. Here I make a little bit of mistake. I meant to make this a drive, so we do upgrade it. And then I'm looking at these other ones and they're just not mixing correctly. So I was struggling with what I did wrong here. And then I decided, you know, let's pull it back a little bit farther. It ends up working out pretty nice because we're able to sneak in this extra parking lot that ends up looking like it belongs there after we get done, and you'll see what we mean. But here's where we're struggling a little bit with the mathematics that we learned in Yumble's video. But we did end up pulling it together and made these tinier, more realistic sized parking lots, in my opinion, for the need of this area. So it's pretty sweet. That one turned out good to begin with. This one I forgot what I did and I couldn't figure it out for a minute. Being a bozo. So we undo it, we kind of look back over here and we're like, oh yeah, we gotta come out again. Still not getting it. I redo this one to try to remember what I was doing, and I still forgot that I added the border in front of this one right here. So we finally come back in and go, yep, border needs to go there, do it like that. And then we're using the wrong road. Apparently there's two different types of borders. It's a struggle, but we're getting it. Eventually we upgrade it to the right one there and start moving forward. Boom, just like that. Now we get our parking lot in there and we got these two smaller parking lots. And then we're gonna add like a warehouse type building here to finish the area up. I think it turns out kind of cool. Again, we stepped back and looked at the buildings as a whole and decided we needed to do something similar with the other side to complete this build. And that's what we're doing here. Leveling out these roads again, and then we're gonna fix this error here. And then we add some more parking lots, and this one was a little more challenging because the space was a little bit smaller to work with. So we end up doing a little bit of a tricky thing, kind of a hack to get the parking lot to fit. It works though. I think it works, it looks good. It enabled us to finish this entire area and make it look like it's complete. That's the word I was looking for. It makes the area look complete, in my opinion. You can see here, a little bit too small, so we decide to go ahead and play around with it, get things all messed up again. I just moved too fast. I understand how to use these roads now. I'm just being silly at this point. But we go ahead in here and we realize, yeah, that's definitely not a big enough gap. So we're gonna shut off snapping. We're gonna make the road a length of 3 so we can fit the parking spaces in there. And then we're gonna squeeze it, make it smaller so it ends up fitting the way we want it in between those two different roads there, just like that. So in this new area, we decided we made this parking lot. Let's give it some function. Let's add some more buildings inside of this area. And I feel like it works nice. Originally, when I was looking at it, it was like, it's kind of weird to go to the side of the grocery store and have buildings there. But I think in this area, we have, limited terrain or limited land that we can build on. So we're trying to maximize it by having these unique parking lots. And here I realize the Whole Foods needs highly educated individuals, but we'll get to that later. So that finishes the layout, that finishes all the buildings we're gonna put down. And now it's time to start muddying it up, making it look dirty, making it look like it's been here for years. And that's what we do here. A little bit of the same as we do in all of the other videos. But like I said at the very first episode of this, I wanted to keep up with this part of the detailing as we go so we don't fall behind and feel like there's certain areas that aren't finished. So that's what we're doing. Again, we grabbed 45 minutes of my day, started recording this, got a single area complete to the way I wanted it. We're gonna keep doing that for episodes moving on until the city's complete. I think it's nice. I'm not pre-planning. I'm not trying to say, okay, next episode we're going to do a high school. Next episode we're going to do an airport. We're just building the city based on the needs. It looks like, looking at the demands right now, next episode's probably going to be around residential because we got to get that up. And that's also going to lead probably into some education as well. Again, we're playing a little bit like vanilla when it comes to unlocking things, even though we have all the milestones unlocked because we did that in the first few episodes. But that's, yeah, like I said, that's pretty much the sum of what we're going to do with this city moving forward. It's just going to be me enjoying City Skylines again, building what we like, trying not to over detail like I felt like we're starting to do with the decals here. One thing we did add for some more color in this area, because there's a lot of gray concrete, we wanted to add some planters with some trees. And I used a vanilla tree here because I thought it looked pretty nice. And once we kind of copy and paste it and slap it around the area a little bit, it definitely makes it feel a little bit more finished to me and a little bit more homey or welcoming, I guess is the right word. When you're in this area walking around, you got these planters with these trees. It gives it a nice little pop to the eye from above. And if you're, you know, a person walking around, I'm sure you would enjoy it as well. All right, and if you've been around for a while and have seen some of my videos, you know this song means we're wrapping up, hitting to the end of this episode. We're adding in a little bit more trees to kind of finish that area, taking a peek at our residential area. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Lake Sockside. As tradition, we do have a word of the day. I haven't thought that through yet, so we're going to do one randomly live while I record this. Let's say the word of the day is... we're going to go with the number 45. We're recording 45 minutes of gameplay, condensing it down into a ×3 time lapse, adding a little bit of these, you know, flyover cinematics, but it's allowing me to enjoy playing the game again and show it off to people that are interested in watching me play it and maybe get some ideas or just be inspired to build your own city again. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Sockside, and I'll catch you on the next one.